no idea.
Guess they gotta see me dance longer than you.
I literally have no idea what happened.
What happened?
Uh.
Y'all dancing with me? Come on, y'all. Dance with me.
None of them are dancing.
Come on, babe.
Not one. What was that? That's like some old. So are you really dancing if you don't have like a stank face? Okay. Does it count?
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, guys.
Welcome to Ask John and April Live. Once again, we're excited to be here. This is our 6th week in a row, I think.
Ooh.
Somebody's like, when are we going to stop counting? You know what I'm saying? When we get to the amount of shows that we had before we stopped doing shows. All right, I'm trying to do something here to make it so that you know what?
What's
that
happening?
light needs to be turned towards me a little bit more.
Okay.
So we moved everything back a little bit so
Just a
that you
little
wouldn't
bit.
be able to see the ceiling anymore.
Ceiling, you know, give
And
you a little picture.
Kind of messed up the lights a little bit.
Of New
and so now,
York, you know.
yeah. And you
Just
saw,
tryna-
is that better for you, by the way? Is that
Yes,
a little?
I think so.
Yeah, that light's right on you now.
Just trying
Oh,
to-
man.
Just trying to fix it up
Woo.
a little bit, guys, while we're waiting.
Boy, oh, boy. That's what my grandfather used to say whenever something big just happened. Boy, oh, boy.
Hey, y'all.
That light really makes a difference, man.
We obviously were not ready for this show tonight.
No, we were
And,
not. We were seconds later than we were
I
supposed to
thought
be.
that we were,
It's fine.
you know.
You know, I think the chimes understand that it's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things.
No, I guess not.
We got, of course, the usual suspects here. I don't know if you saw our text just now, Primo. Yo, good to see you, man. Talking about he's dropping bars to this beat. I would love for you to send in.
Oh, my goodness. Send the
you need
bars.
to record that joint
Record
and
the
send it in
bars.
so that we can play
Send
it
it
on the
and
next
I'll rap
episode. No. I want him on video so we can show it to the chimes.
I agree.
A lot of chimes don't know who you are, Primo.
You
That'd
know,
be perfect.
you're pretty popular.
A little
Primo.
bit. Andrew, what's the
Like,
deal,
hey,
man?
Andrew.
Of course, Horace is here. Yo.
What up, Horace?
Madeline's here as well. Good to see you. Mark McDonald, nice graphics. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Thanks.
We're trying our best. You know what I'm saying? I'm killing them with the shoulders on this beat.
Yup.
Oh,
Okay, with that
man,
big head
slaves.
bounce.
Kenneth is here. What's the deal, Kenneth
Hey,
Cochran?
Kenneth.
How you doing?
doing?
Let's see here. Mark is just saying night. I guess I'm assuming Mark came on, earlier in the chat and said nice graphics, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm going to bed." I don't know what that night is, but
Like good night. You know, some people say good night instead of like,
yes,
hello,
but usually
good evening. Some
usually
people
good
say
night
good
means
night.
you're going to bed.
You mean night?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Night
Night
does mean I'm going
You
to
know what I'm
bed.
saying?
Are you going to
right.
bed, Mike?
Night means I'm going to bed. Yeah. Okay, Primo says, let me just say before the show even starts, ain't nobody cutting on my stuff. Next show, next
Oh,
topic.
okay.
Well,
We
perfect.
got,
I need you in
to talk.
I need you in the comments today,
yes,
Primo.
I need you in the comments.
This is going to be
today.
important for us to be able to hear from you because we've got some theories about some stuff. Madeline said you almost dance as good as her, babe.
Ooh, we got to dance together, honey.
Andrew said it's the topic. You're our favorite Graham. Good evening. Good to see you, sir.
Favorite Graham.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Oh, Carlene, how you doing?
Hey, Carlene.
It's been a minute.
What's up?
Been checking y'all out on Saturday. Yeah, Saturdays,
Friday
right?
night?
Maybe it's Friday. Whatever it is, I've been watching.
Yes.
You know
We're
what I'm saying?
there.
That's what I'm saying. I
We love
comment
y'all.
sometimes, but sometimes I don't. It don't matter. I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good to see y'all. If there's anybody in the comments right now, any chime who's not an official chime yet because you're new, you got to put newbie in the chat, and then you're not new anymore. After that, you're an official chime. So go ahead and tell us where you're from, where you're watching from, who you are. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
And again, we're excited about tonight's topic because we believe this is one of those that I think.
Yeah, it's one of those topics
Yeah.
that is it's good to talk about. That's
think so.
not talked about often.
Correct.
I don't think.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It is not talked about
No,
often.
it is not talked about often.
Okay, so what I want to do right now is last week, as you know, was our show just before Thanksgiving. And you may have seen it, you may not have. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. By the way, I also want to welcome all of you who are watching the replay right now. We know we have a strong contingent that don't watch it live. You watch
Y'all
it right
can still
afterwards.
chime in though.
Chime in, please. We
Because
love
we
that.
do go back and we do read.
We do read,
So,
and we sometimes
you
put
know.
those comments up and respond to those comments too.
Oh, hey,
Nico, watching from DMV, first time live. Okay.
Hey, you in the DMV with us?
Wow. Nico,
How
welcome.
You doing? Welcome.
Again, now you're an official chime.
Exactly. And
all
you
you-
have chimed in.
It's the thing. You just have to chime
Exactly.
in at least
Just
once,
chime
and
in
that's you
once.
chiming in the comments right now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
But
welcome.
I did
Glad you're
say,
here.
that if you don't chime in, but you chiming in at the house,
You're still
you
a
can
chime.
you can still be a chime.
But in order to be an official chime for real, you have to chime in here at least one time. You know
You
what I'm
think
saying?
so? Don't
Yes.
do people like that.
I think
babe.
it's important.
No.
The point is, I don't know
If
who
you
you are. I don't
chiming
know.
in-
I don't know you're even
But
on.
you can be a chime.
That's true.
Yeah, you can
But
be a
but
chime.
we want to know that you're a chime.
Because if you're chiming
saying?
in, now if you want to be a known chime, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Then, we got to see you, you know?
Richard Bryan says the old man is in the house. Good to see you, man.
Hey.
Kevin Cameron, what's the deal, buddy?
Hey, Kevin.
Good to see you. Glad you're here tonight. Corey, as usual, what's the
Hey,
deal, cuz?
Corey.
Good to see
Glad
you.
you're back. Glad you're back.
And then, of course, Gary saying, are you going to address that hilarious bedroom reel? You guys are so funny.
Listen, what's so
we
funny
can if
is
you
that
want.
reel is so real.
First of all,
When I say that reel is so real, we were dying
I don't-
as we were doing that.
I don't think you
because-
guys understand. So, just in case you haven't seen it, if you've just come into it for the first time, you can follow us on all of our platforms. It's basically just John and April on any one of them, and specifically, this reel is on Instagram. I don't think we posted anything else, did we?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't be remembering, babe. It'd be
I don't
late at
remember either.
night.
Let's put on some music with this. See what I'm saying? So anyway, here's the point. What you need to do is go to our Instagram right now and watch our second to last reel. So we have one today that's from last week's show, a clip, but then we have one where it's basically showing what happens on most nights. We're in the bed trying to sleep. And so here's the thing.
How many of y'all have this problem?
I actually like it when my wife wants to cuddle with me. I have no problem with her
No,
laying
he
on my
does not.
chest.
He doesn't.
But here's my only issue.
This is the problem.
There's a certain time of night, I don't know when it is, all of a sudden April's body heat goes up to like 1,000. And it's like,
Y'all,
I just
she
can't.
be like,
it's
I
too
mean,
hot.
she be like, he be like,
I
you
can't
gotta
do
move,
it.
babe. I'm like, no.
Actually-
I literally scream out no.
Fun fact that most people don't know. It's actually the reason why April and I have this is why we have a king size bed.
Yes.
Because a queen size bed didn't give us enough space between us in the bed. There's a point at which I can't sleep because I'm too hot, and April, if her body's too close. So anyway, I'm like at some point I'm trying to get away, and she's always getting closer.
But
I'm
let
on
me
the
tell you
edge.
what's so funny. Like, he'll be like, baby, too hot. I yell out no, as I normally do.
No!
No! Right? And then I'll try to just put a toe like on his leg.
And even that joint be hot.
And
I'd
he'll
be
be like,
get away.
babe. He's always all hot. I'm like, it's 20-something degrees outside. And we don't have the heat on, y'all.
Don't matter.
20-something degrees, no heat. I'm like, I'm
It's not
freezing.
20 something. It's 30 something.
I'm-
It is not 20 something
It
yet.
was 20-something last night.
It was not. I'm not a savage. We'll put on the heat when it goes to the 20s. Maybe, actually.
No heat, guys.
Maybe, sure.
Look, Primo said we have the same problem. Hey, Angie.
You got the same
we
problem,
missed
Primo?
your tamales. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Love you too. Love you too.
We did miss your tamales
Oh
at
my
Thanksgiving.
goodness,
Man.
we did. I forgot. Oh, I wanted to be there so badly.
Joyce Bullock says we're watching from Durham, North Carolina. Blessed Richard E. and Joyce M. Bullock. Good to see you. Glad you are here. Of course, we love Durham. That's our old
Durham.
stomping ground.
Yes.
Our kids were still really little then,
Love
and
Durham so
life
much.
was so much simpler.
Wasn't it?
You know, oh my goodness,
I love
it was
those
so much
days.
simpler.
So
Anyway,
good.
go check out that reel and see if you think it's
Go ahead
funny.
and chime in on
yeah,
that one too.
chime in the comments.
And
Tell us if you're like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
tell us who you are, me or
and,
John.
and then share it with some of your friends that you think might have similar problems, or if you want to just tell about your problem. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we can do that. Okay,
Yes.
so here's what I want to show you though from last week.
Yes, but before we start, we want you to
Yes.
share now.
Go ahead and share this.
Go ahead and share. That really helps us, guys. So
It helps a lot.
go ahead and share.
We also think it helps other people who are having difficult conversations about certain things. And tonight's conversation is about vasectomies. Now, it's not really about vasectomies. It's deeper than that. We'll show you soon. But anyway, Mark says marriage is free body heat for life. That's exactly what it is.
Listen, when John is gone, I'll be so cold, y'all.
Now, I will be honest with you. I struggle to sleep in hotels when April's not with me. And I normally wear very little to bed. That was the nice way of saying I sleep naked.
You don't have to tell everybody that, man.
But I can't do that when I'm awake because it's too cold. I put all kinds of. I have a sweatshirt, socks. I don't wear none of that to bed normally. But when April's not there, man, I can't do it.
Oh my goodness.
John Coaxer said he's with me.
Too much information.
John Coaxer says I'm with you, John. No heat. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They be hot, man. And look, I like the cuddles.
Though.
I'm just saying, if you could turn down the body heat, that'd be better.
I do not feel hot. That's what's so crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And Anna says, I wish you could have seen Adele race over when I turned the sound on just now.
Adele.
Oh, hey, Adele.
Hi.
And hi, Anna.
Girls.
And Brian, if you're around there. Adele, maybe.
Yes. Maybe.
I don't know if maybe's even over there. You know what I'm saying? She maybe. And Jill, maybe Jill's over there too. Or maybe they're all sleeping. Actually, it's 3 hours behind, so it's 6 o'clock. They should be fine.
So, hi, Jill.
Yeah. Horace, Team Naked. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Jamie says the same thing about me. Carly says the same thing. Hey, yo,
what?
we could have done a whole show on that. How many of y'all wives heat y'all up at night? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could have done a show with Carlene and Jamie.
Exactly.
That's true. Okay, so let me just show you this real quick. Did you say what you want to say? I want to show them the poll.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so last week we did a poll because we wanted to know how many people struggle with the in-law thing. You know, it's the holiday season, and this is still relevant, obviously, because we just finished Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming up, and so you're going to be with your in-laws. Probably they're either coming to your house or you're going to theirs. There's going to be some kind of interaction with in-laws, and we just wanted to know, do people have an issue with being around their in-laws, basically? So here's the poll that we did. And by the way, you can still vote on this because it's still open. This is on Instagram still right now. It's like a few reels ago. You can do that too if you want to chime in on this too. Yeah. But do you look forward to spending the holidays with your in-laws? Now, we phrased the question that way on purpose. And last week, I believe, during the show we looked at it, the yeses were still winning. I think it was like 55% or 54% yes or something like that.
Then all of a sudden after Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. No, seriously.
No, seriously.
After Thanksgiving now it's 53% no.
53%,
and 47%
no, they do not look forward, y'all. Kenneth talking about don't get me started.
So the bottom line is you can still go and chime in on this poll because this was still relevant. During the holiday season, obviously, this is a time when you're going to be seeing in-laws a little bit more, and we just want to know, do you look forward to that? Is it something that now you don't have to hate it, but maybe you just don't look forward to it. Maybe it's just not your favorite time. Anyway, whatever it is, just go ahead and put that in there. Now, April and I are weird in this regard, probably based on most people, but I always looked forward to being with my in-laws during the holidays, and now my in-laws are living with me, and I love it every day. Yes. So. And
I love spending time with my in-laws. Like I am just blessed.
Right.
I think we are blessed to not have that issue.
Right. But I will say we did have an issue with each other for a while when we were going to our house. We talked about that last week.
But we had an issue in the beginning about how we changed.
Correct.
So sometimes it's not about the in-laws, it's about you.
Right.
It's about yourself.
And so a person might answer the question that they don't look forward to their in-laws, not because of the in-laws, but because of the way their partner changes. So, and we talked about all that last week. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready for tonight's topic?
Yes. Tonight's topic. Let's get started. All right.
Let's get into it. So do you guys know Devale and Khadeen Ellis? They're on social media. I believe you can follow them on
Instagram.
They have a podcast. I think their Instagram might be the Ellises. They each have their own personal. I think Devale has something he calls Devale's Truth or something like that. And they're really funny.
They're really funny.
They're a really great couple. We like them a lot.
Yeah. I think they're great. Their kids are great.
Didn't they have their fourth kid, or was it their third? They have all boys.
4 boys.
I think it's 4 boys. They just had their most.
4 boys?
I think so. Anyway, we'll find that out. Listen, one of the chimes already knows, so just correct us. It's either 3 or 4 boys. But they just had they do not have any girls. I know that. I know they don't have any girls, and I know that they have a lot of kids. They have more than 2. I know that.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's 3 boys or 4 boys. I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, they just had the most recent child, and I guess they decided.
Yeah, it is 4.
All 4 boys.
Yeah.
Yep, got
it.
Thank you, Horace.
Yes.
Thank you, Horace, for that. That's helpful.
And
Mark
always be giving us the
as
answers.
well. Thank you, Mark.
This is the thing. I'm going to say this before you say the next thing that I think I
Please.
know what you're gonna say. But
Yes.
when we got married back in the day, y'all. Like, a long time ago.
We got married in
So,
2000.
In 2000. So
At least it wasn't the 1900s, because our kids be saying that we were born in
that
the
we
1900s.
grew up in the 1900s. That's what
And-
they say.
and
No,
they're
no,
not-
no,
and
no,
they're
no,
not
no,
wrong.
no, no,
That's
no,
the
no.
thing.
No, they say you grew up in the late 1900s.
The late 1900s.
That's
right.
what's really hilarious.
That's the part.
That they say the late 1900s.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Just hearing that. Okay. Anyway, so, when we got married and when we had kids, there was no, there were no.
There was no anything.
Engagement, doing the engagement big and everybody seeing it and have this huge thing. That was not a thing because you didn't have social media like that. There was,
We also didn't have camera phones.
You didn't have camera
so it was hard to
phones.
record something like that.
Exactly. And then you moved to the
Gender
baby-
reveals.
Gender reveals.
We didn't have that either.
We didn't have no gender reveals. And then what else is it?
Let's see. You got gender reveals. You have the engagement. Of course, you have the wedding.
Oh, and now you have divorce.
Divorce parties. That's true.
You have that.
You're right.
That kind of stuff was not in.
Also, we have a VHS of our wedding. But
VHS, y'all.
what people do now is they basically get somebody to put together a 5 to 7 minute sort of
like a recap.
yeah. So you don't have to watch the whole thing,
to
but
watch
it's just
the
the
whole thing.
highlights,
Yeah.
the best parts of it.
There was no highlights. You gotta
Nobody
watch
was doing
all
that
of
back
it.
then.
No.
Our tech is all outdated. So here's the newest thing now, which I had never heard of before now, which honestly, if there was a thing when I was 30, was I 30 when I got my vasectomy?
32.
I was 32. You're right.
Yeah,
when I
you were
was 32. Back when I was 32. So that was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm old. Anyway, if this was the thing back then, I would have done it, and that is a vasectomy party.
So that's what Khadeen did
threw
for,
a vasectomy party for Devale because
he asked for that. Like he was saying he
Yes.
wanted it, and then she surprised him. And
Yes.
even though the son actually spoiled it and told the dad.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Anyway.
So let me ask you
yeah.
let me ask you a question first. And let me just ask you what you think about most people, and then let me ask you what you think about this. Do you think most people would say that a vasectomy party is overkill? Not people, women. Do you think most women would say that having a vasectomy party is overkill? Like, why would she even do that? That's you know what I'm saying?
I think that people gonna criticize.
Yeah.
Especially with them doing something like that, because that's
Yeah.
just what people do when
Right.
you're famous or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you could have a group of women who feel like women have gone through so much with having the pregnancies, having the babies, breastfeeding these babies who
Yeah.
do all kinds of biting and all other kinds of things, raising the children.
Right.
Not that the men don't raise, but you know what I'm saying. I'm
By
just
and
saying,
large,
by and
yes.
large, I'm just saying you might have women who say, "Party." I didn't get no party for having the baby.
By the
I
way,
guess you have
there are push parties now.
There are push parties. No, there are. You are right. There are push parties.
And push gifts.
There are push gifts. You're right.
Okay, so that's a thing.
I'm glad you remember that.
Which,
That's
by
true.
the way, was not a thing when we were having kids.
No, it was not.
Would you have liked something?
And you know what? I'm actually glad.
Would you have
it
liked to have
Let
something?
me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why I'm glad all that stuff went.
Because we would have been po?
We would have been po, honey. We would have been
Broke
po
all the time?
Exactly. Trying to have all these parties, but
So you think most women
I
would say...
think I did not say most women.
Okay.
I said that there's probably a group of women
Okay.
who have this idea that, look, I go through all this. Why should I be giving you? Because think about it. Yes, you have a push party. Yes, you have all that. But then afterwards,
Yeah.
usually women have to go on some type of birth control pill or they deal with other, ailments or issues with their physical bodies because of the birth of the child.
Right.
Right? For years.
Yes.
Matter of fact, no. For the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Because my body has changed.
Yes.
The first one didn't change my body at all.
Right.
Okay. Second one,
Yeah.
it was over.
And so the more you have, the more your body changes, and
Yeah,
it's probably irreparable change. Like, unless you
Yes.
get surgery.
And then it's like, exactly, unless you go get surgery. So this is it for life.
All right, so
And so I'm just saying, for these women, they
Yes.
may feel like you getting a party for that.
Right.
You shouldn't get a party for that. You should just be doing it.
good. Now,
That's what I think
I'm
that
asking you, do you
some
think most
women-
women feel that way?
I don't.
Okay. Now, how do you feel?
I don't. What was the question?
How do you feel about this idea of a vasectomy party? Is that overkill in your mind? Is that
I
like
love that.
you like? Okay.
I like it.
And you would have given me one had it
look,
been
I
a
think
thing.
it's fun.
Would you have given me one that had been a thing?
Yeah, I would have given you one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
it wouldn't be some,
Show's over.
what I'm saying is, I really don't think that it's not some thing that has to happen.
Of course
You know what I
not.
mean?
Right.
But I
agree.
think it's fun. I
Yeah.
think it's a way to say thank you
Yeah.
for your service,
Yeah.
you know. Because now I don't have to be on birth control pills. I
right.
don't have to, you know,
Yes.
cut out my stuff or tie
Right,
up nothing,
right,
you know.
right.
So I think
Yeah.
that is, but again, you would have some women that says you should be doing that anyway.
Right.
And you shouldn't even have to get a reward for that
Right.
because that's what you should be doing after all I've been through and all I have
Oh,
to
I still go through
after.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I want to know what the chimes think about that, because that's really the point. You know, should you be rewarded when we're not rewarded for having these bodies for the rest of our lives?
Well, okay. So
You know?
So there's a joke that Chris Rock makes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows it. It's basically, do you want a cookie? That you shouldn't be getting rewarded for doing what you're supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I hear you saying that some women think, sounds like, is that some women feel that the man should do that because of all of the things the woman has to do in order to have these kids.
Mm-hmm.
It would be, that's the least he could do.
That's the least he could
is
do.
go get snipped, basically.
Because it's actually less invasive. It's easy. Well,
Easier.
Easier.
But
I don't
it-
want to make it sound like it's not.
It is
you
an
know.
outpatient procedure.
Yeah.
You don't have to go under anesthesia. I didn't.
Right.
Um,
John drove himself home the next day.
Spoiler alert, I have had a vasectomy. I did drive myself home the next day just with an ice pack, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I stopped at McDonald's and got more ice on the way. It was a 6-hour trip, by the way. So, yeah.
He had to go to somebody that he really, really trusted with his joint.
The only man besides me that I trust with my manhood.
Exactly. So he had to drive 6 hours.
And you guys have seen him. It's Dr. Q. He's
Yeah,
been on
Dr.
our
Q
show
was on the
before.
show.
You know what I'm saying?
We need to have him back
He's
on.
my personal urologist.
Exactly. Listen, he was like, I ain't letting nobody else touch my junk
Right. There's no way.
except for Q. And he drove 6 hours, y'all.
6.5, I think, actually, now that I think about
Yes.
it. From Durham to Cookeville.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's get into the thing then, right? Because a lot of men sort of have the perspective that Primo gave earlier. I'm not doing that. There's no way. There's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few reasons why men say that, and I was one of them. Like for a while, I was like, I don't think I want to do that. And it wasn't until I talked to Q about this, and he sort of settled some myths for me, that it made me say, okay, maybe I can do this.
But you know, first it started off with a friend of yours.
You're right.
Who you feel is a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
a man's man.
Right.
And he got it done. And you were like, wait a minute.
Wasn't
Let
it?
me-
Wasn't it Myron?
Was it?
Well,
yeah.
there's several men that I know of that
Yes,
have
I
vasectomies
think-
that told me,
yes,
but I think
yes,
Myron was the
yes,
first one
yes,
that I
I
knew
think
of.
he was the
I
one.
think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because I remember. You know what? It was definitely Myron. You know why? Because I went to his house. I had to preach at his church, and I don't remember if he had me preach at his church because he was getting the procedure, but I remember him sitting on the couch with like
No,
a
it
bag
was.
of peas.
Yeah, because I was
there.
I thought I was
You
on
might
the
have
phone
been there
with you
too.
guys. No, I wasn't there.
Or maybe I
No.
maybe I had you on the phone.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Shanae had just made
That's exactly what it was.
Shanae had just made some bomb cornbread.
He
and I
may
was
not
eating
want
it.
you. He may not want you telling all
He
his
doesn't
business.
mind. Myron, this is for you, buddy.
Peas.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so you're right. He's a person that to me is a man, whatever, and he got that done. And so it was the first time that I started thinking about, well, maybe it is okay for a man to do that. Because the first thing I think that men think of, I thought of it, was I'm going to lose my manhood. Like I don't want anybody doing anything down there that might mess something up. And all of a sudden now, I'm not the man I used to be. You know what I'm saying? And there are several things that are going in your mind about that.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
I get that.
What if you can't get an erection anymore after that? You know, what if they, do something crazy and
Well, that's
you
why
lose
you got
one
to
of your
go to somebody you
testicles? You know what I'm
trust.
saying?
That's why you have to go to somebody who's really good
So,
that you trust.
the first thing was I was very surprised to find out how simple the procedure actually was. When I found out what it was that the urologist would be doing, then I realized he's not going to be messing with any other parts. It's a small incision It is basically snipping the vas deferens, which is the vehicle for your sperm to get to where it's supposed to go. That's basically all he did. And he told me how easy it would be. He told me I wouldn't have any real anesthesia, be a local anesthetic, all this kind of stuff. And he was right. And it was virtually painless, and it was fast.
So I want to look at Horace's comment right here, because he says, but if it's done after delivery, I mean, you're right there.
He's saying the whole
getting the
tube side thing.
And I get that, but
hold on. This is the only thing.
Okay.
Regular pregnancy, regular delivery, natural birth would require still a surgery to do the tube tie. So the only way you're already in there is if you did a C-section.
Yeah.
That's when sometimes they say
and everybody's not getting that.
Correct.
So then what? You know what I mean? And I feel like even then, you say you're already in there, yes.
By the way, Corey said thank you for your service. Screaming.
But I think I need to know what are some of the, because I don't know this, and we should have our Dr. Brandy on here as well.
We should.
But
maybe that's the next show. Maybe we ask the two of them doctors to be on here and give us some perspective on that kind of stuff.
But I want to know, like, what negative effects could come from a woman getting her tubes tied.
Okay.
Because we don't talk about that. And this is my thing, though.
Yeah.
This is my thing. I feel like when it comes to this, it's like, okay, he's going to lose his manhood, off the table.
Right.
But all these things could happen to women, and it's like, well,
you're already in there.
You're already in there. Or go ahead and take the birth control pills. I mean, it's just, I feel like there is a bit of a, what do you call it?
Double standard?
Yeah.
Because you like that thing.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I do believe there's a double standard on this issue. And maybe we should talk about that a little bit more in a second. What I want to do first, though, is I want to normalize a man's psychological issues that he'd be going through in a situation like this.
Because that's really what it is.
That's really what it is.
So tell me, and that's really what I think we as women want to know. What is it mentally that make you feel like, when the doctor has said, so I'm talking to you, Primo, the doctor has said,
I ain't gonna do it like that.
Well, he said something about it. Like, this is...
Primo has done zero research on this. Okay.
Okay, but based on what you said, this is minor. This is not a major surgery.
Right.
It's in and out. You will be fine.
Right.
And you're still a man.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Your joint is going to work the same.
So, by the way, can I just say that real quick? One of the first questions I asked my urologist was, what exactly is going to happen? Because I was actually ignorant about it. What exactly is going to happen when I climax now? I wondered if something would change. He said, no. He said, there's still semen, but there's no sperm in it. I said, oh. So he said it'll feel the same. He said it'll look the same. Everything about it will be the same. It's just at a microscopic level. If you were able to look at it, it wouldn't have any sperm in it because you have.
And I can attest to that.
Well.
I'm just saying.
TMI. Anyway.
I'm just saying. You told everybody you sleep naked.
I did say that.
We going all out now,
right. And that's not the only thing we've ever said on this show, so it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? So bottom line is, for all intents and purposes, nothing is different except, if there is one difference for all the guys who might be considering this, I want to tell you this is up front. There are a couple of weeks that you have to go without, you have to abstain.
Yeah. And
you are sore in the man region for a week at least, maybe 2 weeks, and you can't pick up heavy things. It does cause some of that. So just so that guys who are maybe on the fence about this and you're thinking about it, I don't want to give you the impression that there's nothing. Like, there is something that goes along with this, but it pales in comparison, though, to the recovery that your wife would have to go through. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that.
Go ahead. You want me to compare that what?
I want you to compare that to what women have to go through.
Right.
Just from, I had a great pregnancy. I didn't have any issues.
Right.
Not really. And had the child. And, you out for 6 weeks.
Right.
Because you're actually sore.
And you didn't get your tubes tied. You just had
regular
natural birth.
Stuff.
And you weren't. And
then afterwards.
You didn't have a C-section or nothing.
Yes. And then after the pregnancy and you've had the child, you have other things that continue to be painful.
Yes.
So I don't
So it's
know.
not about comparing, right?
It isn't. But
So-
what I am saying,
I
it's not about comparing.
So here's the first thing.
But I'm saying that there are people who do that.
Yes.
Because we were just talking about what some women might say.
Yes.
And I think that is one of the arguments.
And if I were
You
talking
know.
to a guy and I was trying to help him to make the decision, if I was talking to a husband and saying, hey, listen, you should think about it for these reasons, that would be what I would be saying. I'd be saying, hey, listen, think about all the stuff that your wife had to go through to have the children and is still going through now. Like right now, if we're on a long car trip, April cannot hold it. Like, at all. Like, since Julia sat on her bladder in a certain way, like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now,
That's it.
she
Got
just,
to go
she
to the
just
bathroom
goes to
immediately.
she can't hold it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. That's a literal alteration on the inside that she can't even fix. You know what I'm saying?
And some people say even like, mom brain stays with you.
Right.
You
That
know,
too.
I've heard that before.
So I would say to a husband, listen, your wife goes through a lot. You should take one for the team. It will actually pay off in the end. We'll talk about that in a second too, because there is something that happens, I think, to wives when they see that their husband had a difficult time making a decision like that and did it anyway.
So I do want to transition to that part of the conversation
Yes.
because for those men out there who might think that, they can't do it. It'll take away their manhood. Just trust me on this. Your manhood will go to a different level. That's all I have to say. In the bedroom, okay? No, seriously. There's a freedom
Yes.
for women that comes when we don't have anything that is holding us back.
Like birth
Okay?
control.
So
or-
you have these hormones that are going inside of us sometimes. You have just the fear of getting pregnant
Right.
just because you don't have anything that's you're thinking something like tubes being tied, something like, vasectomy, you're pretty safe. I mean, that's
Right.
what you think. I
Right.
mean, I've
Right.
heard of people still getting pregnant with vasectomies, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But that's because they
That's
didn't follow
rare.
the directions.
No, this person followed directions. But
Really?
anyway,
Did this
that's
person
what they
sue?
say. That's what they say. No,
They
I've
need to
talked
sue.
about it. But anyway, my point is, when you are, but really the issue is when you're taking things like birth control pills or things that have hormones in it, that is actually holding you back because it just
Facts.
does. There's
Right.
things that it does to you that lowers your
Yeah.
libido and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So and can cause mood swings and changes and all those kinds of things. So when your husband gets a vasectomy and you can literally be freed
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what that does? I don't think. Okay, just like it's a mental thing for a man
Yes.
who doesn't want to get a vasectomy because they feel like they're going to lose their manhood. Well,
Yes.
for a woman, when a man gets a vasectomy and we're freed,
Yeah.
it's a mind thing for us
Yeah.
that now we can be free to just explode
Climax. and listen,
freely
I can attest to that.
without worrying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Without
right.
having that in the back
Yes.
of their heads or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
So it's like you have
It's
that
worth
on
it.
top. It is.
It's worth
I
it.
think that if you decide to do it, whoever out there, primo, I think that your wives will be very, very, very happy.
So, I'm
You know.
glad you said that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Here's what I want to say to wives today, though. If you don't dismiss your man's
Feelings.
yes, because
They're
this
legitimate feelings.
it's legit.
It is legit.
There's some stuff that we deal with as men when it comes to this subject that I think makes us feel like we're going to lose something that is essential to who we are as men.
Yeah.
And somebody has to convince us, usually a medical doctor, someone we trust, has to convince us that that won't happen before we even would consider this. So if your man does that, I need you to know it was like, climbing Mount Everest and diving off the top of it into a pool. That's basically what it was like.
Aw.
Except at Mount Everest, you probably die because it's so far. But I'm just saying, it is a big deal for your man to do that. And so this is why I don't think Khadeen went overboard by giving Devale a vasectomy party. I think there is something to celebrate there. I do think it's not about comparison because I do think it pales in comparison to what you guys have to do as women to carry and have and then raise our children, right? But it's not about that.
No,
I
it's
hope
not.
I hope your husband is willing to celebrate you as well for the things that you're doing for the family. But I do think I do think that's a big deal. I think if you decided that you were going to give your man a vasectomy party after doing that, or not a party, just somehow celebrating
yeah.
what it is that he decided
we
to
gonna
do.
celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
You know
what I'm saying?
after them 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
about to say, it's going to take you a little time
That's
to,
the
you know what I'm saying,
celebration.
before you can actually do it, though.
That's the celebration. I love what Jennifer Gill. I'm sorry, I can't even Jennifer Fordham. Jennifer Gill is what I.
Yes.
But I think if there is ever an excuse to have a party, you should have one.
I agree with that, too.
And I think
like,
that's what
always have one.
people are feeling these days.
Yes.
And I love that. I don't see anything wrong with
Now,
that.
Miss Straight Up Notation says, so what's next? Are women going to ask for a tubes tied party? Maybe.
Listen, you never know.
Brian Goodine, what's up, man?
Hey, Brian.
Brian had one. It was the waking up being dressed when you knew you didn't dress yourself that got me. Our choice for me to do it was medically necessary after a high-risk pregnancy. Okay.
Got it.
So
Yeah, you
high-risk
made
pregnancy,
that
that's
you made that
even
decision.
more. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Camila, what's up?
Hey.
A little late, but I'm glad you're here. Brian, again, they had to put me to sleep. Oh, okay, that's why. I didn't want to see all the hands that were on my body.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get put to sleep.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. Gabe is put in some kind of link here for something. I'm assuming maybe this is some kind of article about vasectomies. If you're in the comments right now, you can just click it, I'm sure. April's putting it in right now to see what that actually is. You know what I'm saying? Camila says early menopause, lower sex drive, scar tissue, death from a major surgery, just to name a few. These are things that could happen with a botched. I think she's talking about a botched tube tie.
yes.
So you can get early menopause, lower sex drive, scar tissue, death from major surgery. Just name a few things. So there's several. There are several ways that having a vasectomy is like nothing in comparison to getting your tubes tied.
So what my point about that was, we don't even mention these
We
things
really don't.
as things that can happen, and why maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so Gabe's article is a review of vasectomy complications and safety concerns. So,
it's simple, safe, effective, and economically method used worldwide for a long time.
Wow.
I'll just leave it there.
There you go.
Yeah. You know?
Horace says
Because
men have a
let's just
major
put it this way.
phobia about that very sensitive area. That's
but
exactly
you know
right.
what?
It's a
Let's
phobia
just-
for some men.
But let's put it this way, and I get it
Yeah.
to be a phobia, of course.
And all I'm saying is
but-
don't belittle that. Don't downplay that with your man. And I think he may actually consider it
Yes, but and I understand that that there are safety concerns
with everything.
with everything.
Yeah.
You know, with
Right.
the tubes tied.
Right.
But based on Dr. Q, this has less concerns.
Less concerns getting
Then-
your vasectomy than it would be getting a tube tied. That's
Exactly.
very true.
Yeah.
Bryant said, honestly, I felt free. It gave me the freedom at this age to enjoy marriage and not worry about pushing strollers and watching my high schooler through a ventilator.
Oh my goodness.
You be that
Oh my
old?
goodness.
Dwayne talking about, oh shoot. And Corey said, "You're still a man because April looks at you the same adoring way." That is true.
Oh,
In fact,
I
I think
love
she
him so much.
I think she looks. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my man points actually went up with her by doing this.
No, it did.
I felt like she felt like I felt like more of a man.
Wow, especially at 32, when the doctor was like, "Are you sure?"
Right.
Because we don't
He
really
said
like
we don't
doing
normally do it
this
less than
on-
35.
Right.
That's what he said. Yeah. Andrew said abstain and sore. So I guess he hasn't done it. Brian said
No, he's
sore
saying, I
felt
don't
like
know about
vice
that.
grips. Sore felt like vice grips, but that was only one day after the nerve block wore off. Oh, yeah. See, mine wasn't that bad for some reason. Okay,
Yeah.
Gabe says I'm not speaking against vasectomies. I also recognize that getting your tubes tied is major surgery, but I do think there is a false narrative that there aren't any negative long-term effects. Men should at least be aware of those possible effects. Weighing all that, vasectomy is a way better option than birth control, major surgery, and having a basketball team of children. Exactly.
Yes, and I understand that. I mean, that's any surgery. You
Right.
could have that.
Yes.
That's why I emphasize going to a very good doctor.
Right.
And driving 6.5 hours if you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's too. To me,
yeah.
it's too important. That's too.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Your joint got to be right.
Andrew says
saying?
this episode should be called TMI Unfiltered.
I agree, Andrew. This is getting worse and worse, right?
Hey, Horace says blame Eve, not me. Just kidding. So clearly that just kidding had to be there because I think Jocelyn would have come after you on that one. What's Madeline saying?
Some women tie their tube, and some how it comes under. Oh yes, whoops, pop up. Yeah, I've heard that they have. Some have
That's
had
what I heard
them
say time and burn the edges
untied.
too, right?
Yeah,
You know
they
what
say
I'm saying?
burn the edges. That
Yeah.
don't even sound good.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't at all.
But I know that's happened.
Listen to
and-
Bryant. I have a question. When a woman finds out a man has a vasectomy, does she question his fidelity once one of the main visuals of cheating, kids, is no longer a telltale sign? That's a good question. So are you saying that there may be some women out there who think men are getting vasectomies specifically so that they can sleep with anybody and not get anyone pregnant?
I hope that's not happening.
Wow.
I mean, that may be.
I'm sure. I'm sure somebody's
mean,
doing that.
I'm sure somebody's doing that. But that's a little much.
So Primo says, no issue for me. Kitchen was closed during last child's birth.
Okay.
So they must have remedied that where he didn't
Yes.
need to get it.
Right.
So I guess we can stop telling him to get one.
That's why he said no issue for me.
Miss
You
Tredem
know
No
I'm joking
Chaser.
around with you, Primo.
Of course. Miss Tredem No Chaser says men don't like going to doctors, so having a procedure is a big deal. That's
That is
true.
so true.
And then having them
Period.
work on an area where we're like, yo,
I mean, just
anything can go wrong. You know what I'm
just
saying?
going to get a physical, just
Yeah.
going to the doctor, period.
Yeah.
So to do that, I agree. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah.
That's
Minnie,
a big deal. Hey.
good to see you. Good evening. And yeah, she says poor Eve. Yeah, I agree with you. So the verdict is we don't think that Khadeen throwing a vasectomy party for Devale is overboard. Clearly, they can do what they want to do.
Right.
Clearly, that's
But
something that should be celebrated. But what you are saying is, let's not get it twisted. Let's not forget in all this that we have a very different narrative when it comes to women. Very rarely are we talking about all of the negatives that could happen from tubeside. It's almost like, hey, you should just do that if we don't want to get pregnant anymore.
That's just how I feel. I think that's just how it is with women, period, in this society. It's that when it comes to women's health, we do not talk about as much when it comes to the negative side effects of certain things. It's just like, just take this, take this birth control pill. This will help you not have kids. Done. But what are all the things that women are going through because of it? I mean, so many stories are out there. Even with the IUDs, there's so many stories out there that are horrible. And of course, I mean, I'm sure that there are horrible stories about botched vasectomies, but you didn't go to a good doctor. Or things happen. I mean, if that happened to you, I wouldn't be saying things happen, but I'm just saying.
That's true. You would not.
No. And I wouldn't say that for anybody else, actually. Cause,
Maybe that should be like hypothetical we should discuss. Like, what would you have done if I came home and something major was wrong with me in that situation?
I don't really want to talk about that.
I don't either. We'd be rich. I know that.
Yeah, but then you can't, fun. I mean, I don't know, babe. That's not I don't want to talk about that.
That's not necessarily
that's not
the
the
trade-off that
episode.
you're looking for.
No. I was going to say something, and now we're off the topic. I was gonna say, what were you saying?
About what?
Yeah, you were mentioning them. So Devale and Khadeen
Yes.
are on tour.
Yes.
Talking to people and encouraging couples and just encouraging people, not necessarily couples, but encouraging people. And I know that through this time, they're really pumping up how it really made Khadeen feel a certain way because he did this for her.
Yeah.
Because having the 4 boys, that's a lot.
Of course.
And to be able to be done, and she was just talking about how free she is. I mean, she was just like really showing her appreciation for what her husband did for their family. And for her specifically, it really is. I felt like that was for me when you got that done. And so that made me feel special. It made me feel like, wow, he's really invested in this thing. You know what I mean? So much so that you would go do something that I knew was a big deal. Like you said, I mean, going to the doctor is already a big deal, but to go and get snipped and get your joint done is even more of a big deal.
Right.
So I just want you to know that I appreciate that.
Oh, well, I know that already.
And you have freed me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It really is freeing, guys.
I appreciate
Seriously.
that I did it because of what it did to you. Hello?
Seriously, guys, it is super freeing. And,
It really makes a difference.
And you don't even realize how freeing it is until it happens. And then you say, wow, I had no idea this is the way that my body was going to respond or my emotional, mental, thought process as it pertains to that, You don't even realize. So I don't know.
There's somebody that
Yeah.
just joined a second ago that I want to make sure we put on the screen what it is we're talking about tonight. This person just said, just joined. What exactly are the possible... Let me take that away so I can see. Oh, let me just do this. There we go. What are the possible negative side effects of a vasectomy, and in what percentage of the cases does this happen? So there's an article we have up right now that's in the comments that you could click.
So
that
it
will take you
says
there.
a surgical operation. It has short-term and long-term complications as a surgical operation. I guess the vasectomy.
Yes.
Hematoma formation.
Okay.
Infection, which any surgery can have
Correct.
infection. Okay. Sterilization failure. Okay. Sperm granulomas.
We don't know what that is.
No. So somebody can tell us. Come on, doctors. Come on,
Sperm
nurses.
granulomas.
Yeah. Short-term
You don't. Where is it?
post-operative pain.
Well.
I mean,
Yeah. Everybody has that.
a chronic pain syndrome.
Mm.
Okay.
So it doesn't
Ejaculation pain. That's not
seem...
fun.
Ooh.
But
Oh man.
and I'm not trying to down.
So we don't know what percentage though. So he asked also, in what percentage of the cases does this happen? We don't know. In fact, we're probably going to ask some doctors to come back on the show to have this conversation again. Some doctor friends of ours who can help us with those particular things.
As you read those, and not saying that. Okay, so it says it may occur 2 to 3 weeks after surgery at the site of vasectomy, or so prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer is a possible complication of
cardiovascular disease, reproductive hormones, sperm injury, and options for future pregnancy. This is complications. But, okay, here it is. It says incident rate, 0.2%.
Oh. So there's incident rate for all of them. Okay.
Let's see.
So what
it says 1.5%, 4%, up to 22% rare complications.
So look at, what does it say right there beside prostate cancer?
Oh, I think it's different percentages based on.
Okay.
No increased risk of prostate cancer.
Interesting.
No increased risk of sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
No increased risk of cardiovascular disease. No increased risk of reproductive hormones. So, I don't know. I think that, like you said, we don't need to compare.
Right.
But I think it is very important to know that the risk is way higher for women.
And we don't know the percentage that we
Way
can tell you right
higher.
now. We just have heard that it is way higher.
And like Tiffany Brissett, hi, welcome.
Hey, Tiffany.
There are enough conversations about having fibroids. Yeah, a lot of women have fibroids.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't know if that's related to getting your tubes tied or not, but maybe. Brian says, our culture doesn't talk about this as an option because of health disparities in the past and the steadily passing of misinformation under the disguise of religious preferences.
True. She said aren't. I thought that's what you meant. There aren't enough conversation. Exactly. There's not enough conversation about it. And we said that earlier. We don't talk enough about what women are going through and the things that they're dealing with when it comes to, this kind of thing.
Minnie says she really has a problem getting stuck with needles. She cries like a baby.
Oh, really?
So I guess our point is she understands the legitimacy of doing something that's going under the knife or getting stuck by a needle or anything like that. Some people have real phobias when it comes to stuff like that.
Yes.
Khadeen said she was ready to swing from the chandelier after the vasectomy. Best believe Devale is reaping all the benefits.
I'm telling you.
Just like John is. You know what I'm saying? That dude John, man, he is reaping all the benefits. So we should do a TMI show on all of the things that you felt after.
No, babe, we're not doing that.
I'm sorry.
You're
right.
No.
One negative is if your union doesn't last, and when getting into another union and not being able to provide the option of children and possibly dealing with the emotional health of a partner, not being able to go through the birthing process and having a joint expression of love child. That's a good point. So
that's gonna be a negative for the women too.
That's true. She gets
you get your tubes tied.
Well, here's the difference though.
What?
With a woman, there is a expected date on which we say she's probably not going to be able to have kids past this time anyway.
That's
whereas
true.
men in their 80s are still having kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So
That's a good point.
some men are probably like, nah. Now, of course, in our situation,
You don't need to be having no kids if you 80.
that's what I'm saying. At some point, it's like, well, that's why they don't like doing vasectomies on people that are too young.
Exactly.
Because the point is, you might change your mind with your current wife. You may end up with a different wife, and then you know what I'm saying.
That's
so
true.
It's a different,
That
is
is true.
That is something.
But when your man gets a vasectomy, he's saying, "I'm in it for the long haul."
And that's another expression of love.
That's another expression of love, which makes you swing from the chandelier. I mean, that's just what it's all of those things that make you swing. So
from the chandeliers, please finish that.
From the
we
chandeliers.
don't swing.
I'm sorry, from the chandelier. Just so you know, fellas. Just so you know,
it's worth it. I'm telling you right now.
You know what? I'm gonna call.
I'm
gonna call it. I'm going to say this.
You're gonna say what?
Everybody should be Team John tonight.
Because what?
Because you got a vasectomy for me. Well, could have been for yourself. Well, actually,
no,
it was for me because
no question. I told you
did
that.
not
I
know.
telegraphed that.
You did not know what you were going to gain from this.
Right, I had no idea.
I didn't know.
I had no idea at the time that it would make me swing from the chandelier.
Oh, I got a team apron.
But you got a team apron anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Wow. Do you pronounce that Ojos? Is that how you pronounce it? Please tell me.
Thank you.
Tell me if I got that right.
So I need some Team Johns coming in.
By the way, Girly Ingrid says, can't vasectomy be reversed? Yes, within the first 5 years.
Within the first 5 years,
though.
yeah. Right? Because you
I
know
think
Dr.
so.
Phil, he got his reversed and had his second son.
That is true.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil from...
Oh, Brian said we are V buddies. You should start a group, babe. The V buddies.
Mark says Team John. That's what I'm talking about. Andrew said reluctantly Team John. Wow.
Oh,
my goodness.
Andrew.
I did not know that.
Thank you.
I thought I got his joint every time. You know what I'm saying? I guess not.
No, he goes by what the real deal is. You know, I like that.
Horace said, I just made Jocelyn a steak. Then she's swinging from the rafters. Exactly. This man cooks.
That'll do it too, Horace.
That'll also do it. Too bad you said that I was going to go Team April tonight, but you lost my one-time vote.
Now, I know that ain't the truth. Now, you are not telling the truth. But I'll take that as a Team April.
It's Spanish for brown eyes, a.k.a. the brown-eyed SLP on IG and YouTube. Okay.
We'll check you out.
I like that. I love it, actually. Nico says, Team Nixon, great conversation. It's important to normalize the procedure so it's less stigmatized for other men.
Yes,
that's what we're hoping to do. Yeah,
yes,
because I do
definitely.
think I do think it should be something that people actually consider a little bit more.
I love
Madeline always does
that.
Team
She's
Nixon
so
or Team
sweet. That's
because
she's just a sweetheart.
It's really nice of you.
It is.
She didn't follow your directions though.
You know, I'm just going to say this, though. I think we need to just go ahead and have these conversations and keep having them as we learn more, as we experience things and share, because when you hear other people, just like when Myron told you, it makes you say, oh, wow. You know, just like me getting LASIK.
Right.
I would have never gotten LASIK if my friend hadn't gotten it.
Right.
And I trust him. And I'm like,
Right.
yo, how was that
Sure.
experience? And then they told me, and it was like, okay. So I think we have to share these things so that we can, you know, enjoy
I'm in full agreement
and all
with that.
swing from the chandelier because of this beautiful thing that has taken place.
Minnie says, I've learned tonight.
Good.
I'm glad you did.
That's what we want.
Is that your way of saying Team John?
That's what we
Brian says Team Insurance because these alterations ain't cheap. That's true. You got to have insurance when you do that joint.
That's
You know what I'm saying? You're right about that. So hopefully you got good medical insurance to get that joint at least mostly paid for. You know what I'm saying? Team John, but 6 miles. Bruh. 6 miles?
6 miles.
I don't get it.
Oh, man. I'm trying to get it. Team John, but April gets points for saying words like you're John.
You're a junk.
I don't know what else to say.
We love you too, Minnie.
Love you too, Minnie.
Big time. Richard Brown says, I'm going with John tonight. Never thought that a V would be so freeing for the woman.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Men don't know that.
We don't think about that.
Men do not know how freeing it is.
Yeah.
It's so freeing for us. The distance you traveled. Oh, no.
The distance I traveled when?
No. It was 6 hours.
Yeah, it was 6.5 hours, not miles.
6.5 hours.
Yeah. I traveled 6.5 hours.
The 6 miles would be great.
Yeah,
and maybe we accidentally said miles, but it's 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean to say miles.
With ice on his junk.
Right.
Straight. No change. Okay.
Oh, man. All right. Love you guys. We'll be back next Wednesday at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I'm Horace Facey's translator. He said, that's what I meant. Okay.
Oh,
but
6
yeah,
miles?
we didn't go 6 miles though. I mean,
He's
I
being
didn't go 6
funny.
miles.
He's making a joke.
Yeah, y'all. We're gonna see you next
guys.
week. Good night, and we love you.
Good night.
And,
we love you guys.
See you next time.
You see, we tried to do something, y'all. We tried.
Well, we just tried to push it back just
We
so that
just
you would see
tried,
the
guys.
ceiling. You know what I'm saying? That's
So,
all. But maybe next
hopefully
week
it's
it'll
a
be
little bit
something a little better. Who knows? Anyway.
We tried. We tried.
Yeah. We just don't have the money to really do it for real.
Oh, put it back on.
Bye,
He
y'all.
said, let's bounce.
No, ain't no bouncing.
On the way
happening.
out.
Oh my goodness.
Hey. Come on, Madeline.
Oh my goodness.
Bye, y'all.
Wow.
I gotta
Let's
bounce it in.
April.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, I
Hey,
bet you she's not even
hey.
bouncing where she's at.
Oh, Madeline's bouncing.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, she is.
Sorry.
She is bouncing. She in the ATL too? Hey,
All right, y'all. See you next week.
come on, Madeline.